Okay, pop quiz, Demos. Jonathan Pryce or Tim Curry? Who is more appropriate to play Captain Hook? Gotcha, bitch.
That's a tough one. I think they both play an incredible Captain Hook. The thing is this: Tim Curry plays some fun villains. And so he's played some evil villains. He's played the freaking devil in Legend. Come on. He's played it. Although I must be in the minority. Because I digged his performance so much. I was actually really enjoying his character. I was never once frightened by his character. And no, you can't say, oh, you must have seen it. No, I saw this as a kid. Okay, I saw that film as a kid. Never scared me.
There are people who will tell you are full of it.
They can shove it. But I enjoyed his performance that much. He has versatility. He's played incredibly likable characters. Clue. He's played.
The butler in Clue is so great. Mr. Body, whatever you want to call him. Hashtag spoiler alert.
He wasn't Mr. Body.
Well, it depends on which ending.
And there's a fourth ending that actually focuses on him that very few people have ever seen.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I think it involves a car chase.
Done required viewing of Clue yet? Holy jeez!
Because there's a film that we need to cover before we get to Clue that not a lot of people know about, and of which Clue is very much inspired by. It's called Murder by Death. It stars Peter Sellers, David Niven, Alec Guinness, a.k.a. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Peter Falk, Columbo, Maggie Smith, Professor McGonagall, James Cromwell, Truman Capote, and written by Neil Simon.
I've seen this movie. It is not great. There are moments, but it is not great.
Oh, we're going to have a discussion on that. But I'll probably have to cover Pink Panther before we do that, personally. Jonathan Pryce, also extremely versatile, can play incredible protagonists and very, very evil villains. And they both play with the way they speak. Both actors. Very distinctive.
And pizza. You know, I know that's Tim Curry, but you know what I'm talking about.
Obviously, Jonathan Pryce would probably put his own spin to that pizza, and it would be creepy or hilarious in its own way, depending on the film.
Mr. And a cheese pizza. Just
Mr. Dark from Something Wicked This Way Comes talking about pizza would have made it a rated R film. And I am kind of biased. I mean, because I've seen them both play pirates too. You had Tim Curry. I mean, I'm not talking about the cartoon because, yes, Tim Curry has played Captain Hook on the cartoon.
Voicing it, but that's like Captain Mark Hamill is the best portrayal of Joker. You can't really
we're talking about live action portrayal here, and that's a different game. Tim Curry played in Muppet Treasure Island. Straight up comedy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, straight up comedy performance, though. And of course, Jonathan Pryce was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Once again, playing the doting father, but once again, more of a comic relief. Especially in the first film. There's a little bit more pathos to his arc in the later films. But considering the period pieces that he has played and the dark lengths that he has gone, I can see him playing a very truly evil Captain Hook. I can see him taking it to that line. But one must consider the fact that Captain Hook needs to have that element of childish play in him. Yes, he is, as written by J.M. Barrie, he is a very dark character. But I think that's the reason I really enjoy Dustin Hoffman's take on it.
Yes.
Which I can see Tim Curry playing in his own dastardly way very, very well.
Yes. I think you're getting on kind of the edge of what my logic is to say Tim Curry. And there's one very key word that I could use as an adjective that describes one and one's ability with their craft, or I shouldn't say ability, but rather their style in the craft versus the other. Only one of them can truly embody flamboyance. And Captain Hook has a flamboyant element to him. Home Slice is kind of a diva. I don't see diva when I'm looking at Jonathan Pryce. I just don't. Tim Curry, however, that's a diva some bitch right there.
The only thing with Tim Curry is that you would have to have a good director to guide the performance so it doesn't become way too hammy.
Yeah.
Because that can easily happen with him.
But again, Captain Hook is hammy as hell. You mentioned Dustin Hoffman's friggin' rendition in and of itself.
And that got close. I'm talking about like if they're trying to do something closer to the J.M. Barrie book, where Hook is a darker character. So it's a fine line to play. It's a very interesting character to play. Even on stage, the way it's performed is very, very different when you go to British pantomime and the audience actually plays along. It's a very interactive show, if you're unfamiliar with it on the American side. I think probably the most famous thing that people here probably do know about is the audience trying to clap along to save Tinkerbell. Well, that's just one aspect. And if anything, if you want to get an idea of this, I would probably recommend, if you want to have a great laugh, there's a terrific play called The Play That Goes Wrong. And they did a version of Peter Pan for the BBC. Well, they did it on stage as well, but they actually did a special on the BBC. And it plays along with those tropes. And you have the actor actually really angry at the fact that they're doing pantomime along with his serious production. I'd probably give the slight edge to, obviously, we're talking about the actors when they're younger in their prime. I'd probably give the slight edge to Tim Curry, but I don't want to discount Jonathan Pryce because I think Jonathan Pryce...
This isn't that Jonathan Pryce couldn't do a good job, let's be clear. But the premise here is, let's say for some reason you didn't like Dustin Hoffman's portrayal, and if you didn't, F you, you're the problem. He might have even been nominated for that. But
no, he wasn't, but...
Well, he should have been. It's like Wilson the volleyball.
And he should have been nominated as a duo with Bob Hoskins because Bob Hoskins elevates Dustin Hoffman's performance.
You know what? That's why neither of them got nominated. They had votes taking away from each other. Holy jeez. Boom, mind blown. No, but no, man. I not to think that, but let's say you were in a position where you were wanting to cast differently for Hook or some other rendition, or you were wanting to do a live action or live production, as they often do, as was done, I shouldn't say often do, as was done before back, God, what was that, in the 50s or something? I don't know, but like where they've had Peter Pan was being played by a woman. That was a live TV production. If you were doing one of those and you had one of these two actors at your disposal, who would you put in place?
Scarlett Johansson as Peter Pan.
No. That wouldn't. I mean, that would sell, but it wouldn't sell.
Oh, it would sell. Based on the green tights alone. No. And that kind of production. I mean, a musical. It feels it's gonna be a musical. It
doesn't have to be a musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'd probably give the slight edge to Tim Curry because I think he can do that line better between dangerous and whimsical. But once again, I'm picking between. I don't even want to say, like, I know that this wasn't your suggestion. That Jonathan Pryce is just good because I think Jonathan Pryce would be freaking excellent in it. I'm picking between a photo finish, and I'd probably go with Tim Curry as long as you have a director who can keep it from becoming too hammy. I think that's been the Achilles heel of some of Tim Curry. I know I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think that's been his Achilles heel in some of the films that he's been in is they allow him to go too hammy. They allow him to go full Tim Curry.
You don't ever want to go full Tim Curry. No, no. I think I agree with you. We don't need any comments or suggestions here. I mean, we'll take them obviously to increase our discussion on it. Wherein we want to see that on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you want to find us. But according to us, the winner of the first ever Recast Showdown is Tim Curry over Jonathan Pryce.
That still feels so wrong to say. And now I actually feel bad if I find out that Jonathan Pryce actually played Hook in some other production I'm unaware of.